Hey, look at that. That is not a conventional summer treat. Do you know what that is? That is pumpkin ice cream. Okay, so we're going to learn how to make some pumpkin banana. Really, it's just pumpkin ice cream. The banana is just going to help with the freezing part. So what we're going to do is we are going to peel 4 bananas. These are organic, of course. Right down into the blender. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great source of potassium. A nice whole food, a real food. You know, here on Go-To Kitchens, we always preach about having whole foods and getting whole foods into your diet. And I like ice cream any time of the year. And I like ice cream at holidays, even. Winter, summer, it doesn't matter. Any kind of ice cream. So the 4 bananas are down into the blender. This is 1 cup of organic pumpkin puree. This can be a little hard to find at certain times of the year. But most of the larger grocery stores like Whole Foods and Sprouts and those kinds of places will have a organic pumpkin puree. If you can't find organic, it's not a crisis. Just make sure that it is just pumpkin puree and not a bunch of other junk in the can. Or you can puree your own, but I'm all about the speed, so I will find it. This is 1 cup. Right down in there you can see 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Then we're going to add a 1/3 cup of maple syrup. Measuring out right there. This is going to be your sweetener. If you want it a little sweeter than that, you might just want to add a little bit more pumpkin puree and a little bit more maple in there. I wouldn't suggest honey or anything like that. It's just not going to freeze the same as maple syrup will. And then the recipe calls for 1/3 of a teaspoon of pumpkin spice. So like what you would put in a pumpkin pie. Basically that is cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. You could add a little clove in there as well if you were so inclined. So this is, they say 1/3 of the teaspoon. I'm just gonna judge it this way. It's about half of my little, that was more than they said, but I like pumpkin spice a lot. So you could also use, if you use essential oils, you could actually use like a cinnamon or nutmeg essential oil down in there. Just make sure that it is a certified pure grade, like a doTERRA or something like that you can actually eat. So just don't buy any old essential oil and think it's okay to eat, but you could use that as your cinnamon down in there. I can imagine that it would freeze up really nicely as well. We're going to put this in my Ninja blender. You know, we give these Ninja blenders away every once in a while, so be sure and look at Go-To Kitchens for contest information to see if we're giving one away. So, because I firmly believe it's one of the best kitchen tools in the world. So I'm going to hit power, and then I'm just going to pulse it a couple of times. And now I'm going to turn it on 1 and let it run for a few seconds so it gets nice and blended up. Okay, so you can see how thick and creamy that looks down in there. It smells like heaven. I'm going to take my blade out just like that, tap it off in there. Let's be reminded that you could also use just about any kind of blender. Most people have Vitamixes nowadays. You can use just about any blender, and then you can scrape the sides again and give it a stir. And you can also use like a food processor if that's what you had available. I think this is even enough in here that you could probably use even a NutriBullet if that's what you have available. So let's be reminded too that this is an amazing super fast dessert. You could make it in the morning, stick it in the freezer, it's ready for your guests that evening. And it's gonna be the perfect like single scoop with some type of little cookie or even a piece of different kind of fruit or something like that. So then, oh, let's talk about what I've done over here. I have just a regular baking tin. This is actually a beautiful antique tin. And I've lined it with parchment paper because this has a pattern in it and I don't want to be scraping ice cream out of there. So, and plus if you wanted to slice it, like take it out and slice it and put it on a plate and put some sort of topping over it, this would be maybe like a yogurt whipped cream or something. Okay, now I'm dreaming. So I've just taken my scissors and cut a piece of parchment. I haven't used coconut oil or anything like that. I've just pressed it down in there. This will actually hold it down in there. You're gonna pour that down in there. Scrape through here. This is a absolutely 100% vegan, because we're using maple syrup product ice cream here, and it is all whole real foods. So when they tell you you got to eat healthy, you can tell them that GoTo Kitchen said that you can eat ice cream like this. Just spread it out in there nice and even. Before I put it in the freezer, I'm actually going to put a saran wrap over the top of it. That's just because my freezer is absolutely incredibly full, so I don't want anything smacking on top of it or anything. So there you go. This would be really nice in a nice cylinder type container as well. So I'm going to stick it in the freezer. This is going to take a few hours. I'll let you know exactly how long it takes to set up. So the pumpkin ice cream is all frozen up, just like that. And I think that you can serve it two ways. I think that you could serve it one way would be to put it in a little scoop in a beautiful little dish, just like that. I will warn you that if I let this set out for probably about 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes before I scooped it out. And I also made some little pastry squares. These are just basically like little, I'm gonna eat that crumb. I'm not gonna throw that away. Are you kidding me? Let's put another scoop on there. I think it would be pretty. And this is like a gelato type texture. Oh yeah, very nice. A gelato type texture. So it's kind of icy. Reminds you of gelato, something that's a little more icy and less ice creamy, but beautiful little summertime or even holiday treat. So there you go, pumpkin ice cream with a little pastry wedge. So you get that pumpkin pie idea, just like that. Little beautiful red spoon. And then the other way I think that you could serve it is I think that personally that it slices up very nicely. And you could serve it like this. You could even put a little caramel sauce like right on top of that. And then maybe just your pastry piece right underneath the edge. Clean that up a little bit. Right underneath the edge. And there you go. Another way to have pumpkin ice cream. This is so easy to make and your guests are gonna love it. And you just need the time to mix it and freeze it. And then by that evening, you could make it before you go to work in the morning. And then by that evening when you got home from work, it would be ready to have pumpkin ice cream. And I, personally, am gonna have a little taste with a little of that. And the pastry is just pie shell. It is so good. Two different ways to serve it. More of a dinner party, more of an outdoor picnic kind of style. Again, my name is Leslie. This is GoTo Kitchens. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. You can find us on the web at gotokitchens.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all the social media in the world. You can find us just by looking up GoTo Kitchens. You can also email us, which is talktothehands@gotokitchens.com. And this is pumpkin ice cream. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have an amazing day. Thanks for watching again. Ask me, chat with me, hang out with me, learn with me, pen me. GoToKitchens.com.